In this video, we'll be looking at our project number 3, how many books. If you have not done so, view the video that deals with bias and variability. This project will be investigating that. I'm going to skim this part of the document. You should read it carefully a couple times. In this assignment, your job is to develop a method to estimate the number of books at our school based on a random sample of books and the assumption that the books are numbered sequentially starting from 1. So we have some book closet or the bookstore, and we have a set of books, and they're numbered 1 through capital N, where this capital N is the total number of books. And so we're going to take a random sample of size 7 and look at the numbers on the books. And using these particular numbers, we're going to try to guess at what this, or estimate what this capital N is, the total number of books. How could we do it? Well, one thing you might think about doing is taking the median and multiplying by 2, because if we take the median of this set of numbers and double it, it sounds reasonable that it might be the total number of books. All right. In this project, you need to turn in 4 things: an introduction describing the choice of your 3 statistics that you're going to use, 3 dot plots showing the sampling distribution for each of your statistics, a written description comparing the 3 distributions, and a description of which statistic you think is best and why. And here are the percentages associated with each one of those. In this video, I'm going to focus on the 3 dot plots showing the sampling distribution. This will be 40% of your grade. Okay, we need to generate random samples. We have a couple of ways you can do it. You can use your calculator if you do have a random number generator. You can use the website that we've used before, random.org. But in this video, I'm going to show using Excel. Simply pull up a spreadsheet and click on this first cell and enter in equals rand. The first hit you'll see says rand. That returns a number from 0 to 1, a decimal number basically. You want to choose rand between. This is going to return a integer between the 2 numbers that you select, and we want to select 1, 100. That is, while we are behaving like we don't know how many books there are, for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to say that there are 100 books. We're going to see how close we can get to estimating that value, and hit equal. Hit enter. You see it returns a random number, and if I come back up here, if I hit enter again, it'll resample, it'll reselect this random number, and I could continue to come back over here and hit enter, and it'll resample again. Now, as we do this process, you may find that frustrating, but it's really going to be very handy, because this is going to allow us to resample any number of times. Well, we want to pick 7 books, so I'm going to click this corner cell and drag down to 7. And these 7 numbers represent a potential sample of 7 books. So in this case, I have book 51, book 29, book 31, book 7, 36, 30, and 64. So let's say that I'm using 2 times the median. Well, I'm simply going to enter that in here. This is equal to 2 times the median, MED. All right. And now I'm going to highlight these numbers. When I highlight these numbers and hit enter, it resamples this list. So now this time we have 37, 42, 50, 67, 45, 76, 51. Well, the median of this list happens to be 50. Well, 2 times 50 is 100. So in this case, we have nailed the parameter. So now I'm going to come and make a dot plot. You will need to, this is 40% of your grade. You will construct 3 parallel dot plots. So notice these scales are exactly the same. I went from 40 to 160. That should probably be enough. You don't have to have a piece of grid paper. You can do this on notebook paper if you wish. But these scales need to be the same so that we can compare. Well, the first sample I received, I had a 100. So I'm simply going to put 1 dot right there at 100. So at 100, one dot right there. All right, now I'm going to come back to my sampler here, and simply I can click on this and hit enter, and it's going to resample. This time I have an 88. Right. So now I'm going to put a dot where 88 would be. If this is 80, 84, 88, boom, here is 88. And I'm going to do this 25 times. $90. $90 would be right there. $84. Another 84 would be right above that previous 84. 170. So 160, 164, 168, 170 would be right there. $78, $80, $78. $124, $120, $124. And I would continue in this method. I'm just simply going to make up some numbers now. All right, so now I have 25 observations of 2 times median. What I want to do is comment on the bias and variability. All right, bias deals with where my statistic is, my sampling distribution is centered. So median is a very easy thing to find on my dot plot. I'm just going to find the middle number. We have 25 observations. The 13th would be the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is the median. All right. This is the median. The median for this distribution, 80, 84, 88, is 90. Thus, we would say this statistic is biased. That is, it's not centered where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be centered at 100, but it's centered at 90. That is, we're systematically, at least in this sample, we're getting numbers lower than what we would expect. Some were higher, but the center of this distribution is lower. We would also want to talk about the variability. Well, one measure of variability is range. We could talk about the range here. It's from 44, 48, 52 to 160 something. So it has a range of over 100. So this is a fairly variable statistic as well. So this statistic has high variability. That is, it's pretty spread out, and it has moderate bias. That is, it's centered somewhat close to 100, but a little bit low. And in fact, we might even say low bias. So because being centered at 90 here is pretty decent. And you're going to do this 2 more times. You can use 2 times median, but you're going to have to come up with 2 other statistics looking at the at what's given in the handout from the project, and see if you can find 2 other things. You're going to compare the bias and variability for both of these situations.